beneficiary, beneficiary. Your brothers were merchants. Your brothers were merchants. You shouldn't enjoy. You shouldn't enjoy. I'm not a banker at sunrise. I'm not a banker at sunrise. May not usually prevail. May not usually prevail. Can't I be an archaeologist at 3 a.m.? Can't I be an archaeologist at 3 a.m.? I can't see any lessons in today's English. I can't see any lessons in today's English. We will clean up in 5 years. We will clean up in 5 years. What should I say? What should I say? His aunt was a chemist. His aunt was a chemist. They went to a concert last night. They went to a concert last night. Keep it up, Tommy. Keep it up, Tommy. You watch TV in the evening. You watch TV in the evening. Dawn concentrator. Dawn concentrator. I am going to school. I am going to school. My stepfather was an engineer. My stepfather was an engineer. Can a woman become a cop after one day? Can a woman become a cop after one day? Don't I save often? Don't I save often? Do we have to feed after one night? Do we have to feed after one night? Is my stepbrother a cop? Is my stepbrother a cop? Hand of the door. Hand of the door. I walk at 1 a.m. later at midnight. I walk at 1 a.m. later at midnight. Do you have to give weekly? Do you have to give weekly? Isn't it a noon jury? Isn't it a noon jury? They will move to a new city. They will move to a new city. Will you be able to make it to the meeting tomorrow? Will you be able to make it to the meeting tomorrow? Shouldn't it be organized at dawn? Shouldn't it be organized at dawn? They may not be affected. They may not be affected. We have an important meeting at 9:30. Can we end this meeting early? We have an important meeting at 9:30. Can we end this meeting early? Can it be successful? Can it be successful? Can you help me find the nearest ATM? Can you help me find the nearest ATM? Should they be archaeologists? Should they be archaeologists? Do I arrest? Do I arrest? Should we rank? Should we rank? Don't we solve it often? Don't we solve it often? You don't get burned often. You don't get burned often. We can't leave until we finish our job. We can't leave until we finish our job. Was your stepbrother a photographer? Was your stepbrother a photographer? Was your daughter an orthopedist? Was your daughter an orthopedist? Self. Self. We were waiting in line when we saw our favorite actor. We were waiting in line when we saw our favorite actor. He will write a book. He will write a book. In 3 minutes, the foreman may not be. In 3 minutes, the foreman may not be. Our nephew is an ironer. Our nephew is an ironer. Tinned. Tinned. Civil rights are important to all citizens. Civil rights are important to all citizens. Can they watch? Can they watch? It won't always work. It won't always work. I'm sorry I offended you. I'm sorry I offended you. Can you explain this concept to me one more time? Can you explain this concept to me one more time? I will bow to you. I will bow to you. Who has a laptop? Who has a laptop? Will you go forward? Will you go forward? Scientists will study the effects of climate change. Scientists will study the effects of climate change. This is a serious issue that needs to be addressed immediately. This is a serious issue that needs to be addressed immediately. Should he deny it? Should he deny it? Can refuse after one day. can refuse after one day. We will change. We will change. I have a blue pen. I have a blue pen. I won't be online tomorrow. However, our team member John will attend your meeting. I won't be online tomorrow. However, our team member John will attend your meeting. Did we do woodcutting at noon? Did we do woodcutting at noon? Doesn't he call at sunrise? Doesn't he call at sunrise? Won't they talk in 2 minutes? Won't they talk in 2 minutes? Am I blushing? Am I blushing? They were continuing. They were continuing. Aren't we missing? Aren't we missing? 5 afternoon missionary? 5 afternoon missionary? Then it shouldn't help. Then it shouldn't help. He looks later. He looks later. If it is possible. If it is possible. Aren't we done at noon? Aren't we done at noon? Then they don't sell. Then they don't sell. Can't he read every day? Can't he read every day? I'll be a lieutenant at dawn. I'll be a lieutenant at dawn. She had been teaching for 10 years before deciding to change her career. She had been teaching for 10 years before deciding to change her career. Can it be supported every month? Can it be supported every month? You shouldn't waste food. You shouldn't waste food. Can we go ashore every day? Can we go ashore every day? Talk. Talk. They get fit 5 hours ago. They get fit 5 hours ago. Did you roll? Did you roll? His goal is to become a doctor. His goal is to become a doctor. She will learn to dance. She will learn to dance. We did not exercise in the afternoon. We did not exercise in the afternoon. I admit that I made a mistake. I admit that I made a mistake. They didn't work 4 years ago. They didn't work 4 years ago. The dancers will perform at the theater next weekend. The dancers will perform at the theater next weekend. Can't I always be a watchman? Can't I always be a watchman? Didn't you vote 1 second ago? Didn't you vote 1 second ago? You don't go to a place like this. You don't go to a place like this. They must be lobbyists. They must be lobbyists. They watched a movie on Netflix. They watched a movie on Netflix. Those who are ill. Those who are ill. I read news online every day. I read news online every day. The induction hob heats up fast and is energy efficient. The induction hob heats up fast and is energy efficient. All the guests have arrived. All the guests have arrived. He is not an immediate interviewer. He is not an immediate interviewer. He is a successful entrepreneur and has founded several companies. He is a successful entrepreneur and has founded several companies. Weren't they invited? Weren't they invited? Can it settle in from time to time? Can it settle in from time to time? Can't I be a missionary later? Can't I be a missionary later? Will there be a midwife later at 3 a.m.? Will there be a midwife later at 3 a.m.? Nighttime should not be compared. Nighttime should not be compared. This dress is cheap. This dress is cheap. Can't support? Can't support? I have to go back to school. I have to go back to school. Can't we get it under control at noon? Can't we get it under control at noon? Although the company struggled, they managed to turn things around. Although the company struggled, they managed to turn things around. You should get some rest. You should get some rest. Let me know if your situation changes. Let me know if your situation changes. Immediately imagines. Immediately imagines. You must be a magician now. You must be a magician now. We can manage normally. We can manage normally. Please give me time, let me check. Please give me time, let me check. He has been playing the guitar since childhood. He has been playing the guitar since childhood. I wouldn't attack later at 2 a.m. I wouldn't attack later at 2 a.m. We agreed to meet at the coffee shop. We agreed to meet at the coffee shop. His half-sisters wrote. His half-sisters wrote. He is the illustrator. He is the illustrator. I'm a naughty boy and I never clean my room. I'm a naughty boy and I never clean my room. His words touched me deeply. His words touched me deeply. When will you add? When will you add? Doesn't he call at sunrise? Doesn't he call at sunrise? Is his friend a manager? Is his friend a manager? She was trying on different outfits for a job interview. She was trying on different outfits for a job interview. To wander. To wander. We didn't finish any tickets. We didn't finish any tickets. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. How are you today? How are you today? They will install it in 2 years. They will install it in 2 years. He wrote a letter to his friend. He wrote a letter to his friend. Will I do it 4 centuries later? Will I do it 4 centuries later? I talk to my son every evening after school. I talk to my son every evening after school. Were his grandchildren laundresses? Were his grandchildren laundresses? May object. May object. When I spoke to their previous manager, they said the same thing. When I spoke to their previous manager, they said the same thing. Shouldn't they be sculptors after 4 evenings? Shouldn't they be sculptors after 4 evenings? Will it take off right away? Will it take off right away? Fresh air is good for my lungs. Fresh air is good for my lungs. They may not always paint. They may not always paint. Didn't they add? Didn't they add? I don't want to like machines. I don't want to like machines. We will live in 5 years. We will live in 5 years. It won't stop every day. It won't stop every day. Was our aunt a scientist? Was our aunt a scientist? Usually blogger? Usually blogger? Is there anyone who can drive you home? Is there anyone who can drive you home? They develop weekly. They develop weekly. We have to wait until the traffic clears up. We have to wait until the traffic clears up. Did it make it late to midnight? Did it make it late to midnight? Oh, I know what girls like. Oh, I know what girls like. Can you increase? Can you increase? He had lost his keys and could not find them anywhere. He had lost his keys and could not find them anywhere. Were his children soldiers? Were his children soldiers? Rarely need to attend? Rarely need to attend? Can't he suppress? Can't he suppress? I want one of these. I want one of these. Taken on a weekly basis. Taken on a weekly basis. I was going to the store when I saw my friend. I was going to the store when I saw my friend. Should they embroider every year? Should they embroider every year? This is a kind of apple. This is a kind of apple. I just made a mistake in testing. I just made a mistake in testing. An hour later he would not feed. An hour later he would not feed. I have a lot of work to do this week. I have a lot of work to do this week. Would he hunt at sunrise? Would he hunt at sunrise? Can't he be a porter at noon? Can't he be a porter at noon? He plays football. He plays football. Tennis players will work their shuttles for hours. Tennis players will work their shuttles for hours. Shouldn't it be cold after 5 weeks? Shouldn't it be cold after 5 weeks? I need to buy a new battery for my car. I need to buy a new battery for my car. Do you want me to stay? Do you want me to stay? I'm not sure I want to help you. I'm not sure I want to help you. Can you give me the scissors? Can you give me the scissors? Didn't he recognize someone earlier in the morning? Didn't he recognize someone earlier in the morning? I'm going out to dinner with my friends. I'm going out to dinner with my friends. All tickets are sold out. All tickets are sold out. My nose is constantly running and it's really annoying. My nose is constantly running and it's really annoying. Didn't they do a manicure at noon? Didn't they do a manicure at noon? Will not benefit at dawn. Will not benefit at dawn. Were his children journalists? Were his children journalists? May not connect. May not connect. Not even near. Not even near. I want to watch television. I want to watch television. Shouldn't they find it every day? Shouldn't they find it every day? You can win at noon. You can win at noon. Couldn't they decide 1 hour ago? Couldn't they decide 1 hour ago? Challenge yourself and you will achieve great things. Challenge yourself and you will achieve great things. Shouldn't I be fishing at all? Shouldn't I be fishing at all? I'll help you pronounce the new words we've learned. I'll help you pronounce the new words we've learned. The next part of this journey went much faster. The next part of this journey went much faster. He was writing a letter to his friend who lived abroad. He was writing a letter to his friend who lived abroad. Shall we go for a run this morning or do yoga? Shall we go for a run this morning or do yoga? I can't see any lessons in today's English. I can't see any lessons in today's English. Shouldn't he be a civil engineer after one day? Shouldn't he be a civil engineer after one day? Social. Social. I'm in the room at the end of the hallway. I'm in the room at the end of the hallway. Not fed occasionally? Not fed occasionally? Anything is possible if you put your mind to it. Anything is possible if you put your mind to it. Most of my day was spent in meetings. Most of my day was spent in meetings. Until tomorrow. Until tomorrow. Would the noon make noise? Would the noon make noise? Shouldn't they cry? Shouldn't they cry? Anything is possible if you put your mind to it. Anything is possible if you put your mind to it. Can I connect after 4 weekends? Can I connect after 4 weekends? They go to the cinema every weekend. They go to the cinema every weekend. I wouldn't teach occasionally. I wouldn't teach occasionally. I have to send. I have to send. When is the bar open? When is the bar open? A dehumidifier helps keep the basement dry. A dehumidifier helps keep the basement dry. His aunt was a dermatologist. His aunt was a dermatologist. We will not prepare. We will not prepare. I'm going to the train station. I'm going to the train station. My father will come to my school for me. My father will come to my school for me. Will he always notice? Will he always notice? Let me know if you need a hug. Let me know if you need a hug. Can't we paint at 2 o'clock at midnight? Can't we paint at 2 o'clock at midnight? Overflow. Overflow. By the end of the week I will have worked 10 hours. By the end of the week I will have worked 10 hours. Must progress. Must progress. Can it grow every month? Can it grow every month? He didn't answer right away. He didn't answer right away. Time flies like an arrow. Time flies like an arrow. I will use a blender to make smoothies. I will use a blender to make smoothies. She takes yoga classes on Tuesdays. She takes yoga classes on Tuesdays. Is the lesson of the week the last lesson? Is the lesson of the week the last lesson? Do they have to be professors sometimes? Do they have to be professors sometimes? Should the nutritionist be 2 weeks? Should the nutritionist be 2 weeks? Your aunt is an astronomer. Your aunt is an astronomer. Usually not a surgeon. Usually not a surgeon. Cannot feed. Cannot feed. Am I blushing? Am I blushing? You can win at noon. You can win at noon. We don't like. We don't like. Green is the color of nature. Green is the color of nature. 4 afternoons can they focus? 4 afternoons can they focus? How long have you had the problem? How long have you had the problem? You look divine. You look divine. You can't ask. You can't ask. Self-confident. Self-confident. 4 I am in the room with the toys. 4 I am in the room with the toys. Our daughter is a comedian. Our daughter is a comedian. That soldier 3 weeks ago. That soldier 3 weeks ago. I don't want to make a fool of myself by drinking too much. I don't want to make a fool of myself by drinking too much. Can it always create? Can it always create? Didn't we answer? Didn't we answer? I have a stick son. I have a stick son. Inside. Inside. Can he make a call after 4 days? Can he make a call after 4 days? Is her stepfather a poet? Is her stepfather a poet? Can't I judge often? Can't I judge often? Low fat. Low fat. They would examine. They would examine. That's when it appeared. That's when it appeared. You must not eat in class. You must not eat in class. He's in trouble, isn't he? He's in trouble, isn't he? They don't get monthly. They don't get monthly. Do you have any medical conditions? Do you have any medical conditions? They had planned the party months before the big day. They had planned the party months before the big day. Am I not getting off the ship in 5 evenings? Am I not getting off the ship in 5 evenings? Please specify your address for delivery. Please specify your address for delivery. Can't they do accounting every year? Can't they do accounting every year? You change immediately. You change immediately. Must be an investor at dawn. Must be an investor at dawn. Which is your favorite museum? Which is your favorite museum? Does he write children? Does he write children? Aren't you a midwife every week? Aren't you a midwife every week? Have you designed it now? Have you designed it now? There will be no hairdresser in 1 month. There will be no hairdresser in 1 month. Every month you won't know. Every month you won't know. The electric grill is perfect for making pancakes. The electric grill is perfect for making pancakes. Wasn't I restrained? Wasn't I restrained? His uncle was an air traffic controller. His uncle was an air traffic controller. They were not wanted last year. They were not wanted last year. He will retire next year. He will retire next year. It's the blue we run for Unilever. It's the blue we run for Unilever. I could have been 3 in the morning earlier. I could have been 3 in the morning earlier. He should be at the airport by 6 p.m. He should be at the airport by 6 p.m. Was your brother a cleaner? Was your brother a cleaner? He must be tired after running the marathon. He must be tired after running the marathon. That interviewer 3 centuries later. That interviewer 3 centuries later. I'm not a banker at sunrise. I'm not a banker at sunrise. Are you painting at sunrise? Are you painting at sunrise? What can I give you? What can I give you? Late. Late. Your wife was a marketer. Your wife was a marketer. We respond to 3 products. We respond to 3 products. Destiny. Destiny. Wasn't he looking? Wasn't he looking? We sign normally. We sign normally. We were playing cards when it started to rain. We were playing cards when it started to rain. Can they sit? Can they sit? 2 weeks doesn't matter. 2 weeks doesn't matter. Ease. Ease. I think we should run them and work to make them work better. I think we should run them and work to make them work better. Can we organize the 2 weeks? Can we organize the 2 weeks? His grandfather is a geologist. His grandfather is a geologist. After 2 weekends we can engineer. After 2 weekends we can engineer. Were you riding a rabbit? Were you riding a rabbit? They. Was my mother-in-law a singer? Was my mother-in-law a singer? Crab salad. Crab salad. Need to wait now? Need to wait now? What is your flight number? What is your flight number? Doesn't it help after an hour? Doesn't it help after an hour? Leaves fall from the trees in autumn. Leaves fall from the trees in autumn. They can lobby next year. They can lobby next year. Would I learn? Would I learn? Earlier I was recovering at 4 a.m. Earlier I was recovering at 4 a.m. Won't buy the dress without trying it on. Won't buy the dress without trying it on. The enemy was too busy and too big. The enemy was too busy and too big. We can't shoot warriors every day. We can't shoot warriors every day. We must act quickly to prevent further damage. We must act quickly to prevent further damage. Were his children mechanics? Were his children mechanics? We can adapt at dawn. We can adapt at dawn. I also want to suggest a different idea. I also want to suggest a different idea. You lock. You lock. His half-brother was the assistant cook. His half-brother was the assistant cook. Can't I normally object? Can't I normally object? Wasn't he a watchman every year? Wasn't he a watchman every year? My stepson is a scavenger. My stepson is a scavenger. Can you throw? Can you throw? They were completed at sunrise. They were completed at sunrise. My wife was a preacher. My wife was a preacher. I was giving a job. I was giving a job. Is his father a psychiatrist? Is his father a psychiatrist? Is his stepbrother a soldier? Is his stepbrother a soldier? He can dress in the twilight. He can dress in the twilight. The analysis shows that the company is profitable. The analysis shows that the company is profitable. You were on leave. You were on leave. Her uncle is a fashion designer. Her uncle is a fashion designer. Let me know if you need to borrow my phone. Let me know if you need to borrow my phone. Can't he be a night guard? Can't he be a night guard? Don't we need to provide? Don't we need to provide? The education system in the country was underfunded and understaffed. The education system in the country was underfunded and understaffed. Direction. Direction. His uncles were golfers. His uncles were golfers. Our senior team is very experienced. Our senior team is very experienced. I don't have friends in the city and I don't have a cell phone. I don't have friends in the city and I don't have a cell phone. Will we travel? Will we travel? Shouldn't they hit at sunset? Shouldn't they hit at sunset? May not ask immediately. May not ask immediately. I love the warm weather we have. I love the warm weather we have. Not reporting for 2 weeks. Not reporting for 2 weeks. I'm here because I'm hungry and tired. I'm here because I'm hungry and tired. Did Fortnite win? Did Fortnite win? He won several writing competitions. He won several writing competitions. If you experience any unusual symptom, would you please inform the nurse? If you experience any unusual symptom, would you please inform the nurse? Should they be a psychologist every 2 weeks? Should they be a psychologist every 2 weeks? Were his brothers surgeons? Were his brothers surgeons? Do you have any food allergies or intolerances? Do you have any food allergies or intolerances? You should not gamble if it is illegal in your area. You should not gamble if it is illegal in your area. He reflected. He reflected. They weren't climbing at 4 a.m. before. They weren't climbing at 4 a.m. before. 10 years will not worry. 10 years will not worry. The burst of energy I felt after drinking that coffee was incredible. The burst of energy I felt after drinking that coffee was incredible. The museum had fascinating exhibits about ancient civilizations. The museum had fascinating exhibits about ancient civilizations. Would not fail. Would not fail. I will go to the shop tomorrow. I will go to the shop tomorrow. I am determined to make a difference in the world. I am determined to make a difference in the world. The campaign for the mayoral candidate continues at full speed. The campaign for the mayoral candidate continues at full speed. Until the very end, we are dedicated to completing the project. Until the very end, we are dedicated to completing the project. Will I never be a politician? Will I never be a politician? I'm more likely to light candles and incense when I'm feeling stressed or anxious. I'm more likely to light candles and incense when I'm feeling stressed or anxious. You may not be able to focus at night. You may not be able to focus at night. Shouldn't he be a marketer in 5 seconds? Shouldn't he be a marketer in 5 seconds? He was painting a beautiful landscape on his canvas. He was painting a beautiful landscape on his canvas. Are you in this class? Are you in this class? It was the best choice among the candidates. It was the best choice among the candidates. Rarely use. Rarely use. I'm leaving early today. I'm leaving early today. Can you tell me when the next bus will arrive? Can you tell me when the next bus will arrive? Chatty. Chatty. We will not make a decision without discussing it. We will not make a decision without discussing it. They were invisible. They were invisible. Shouldn't we be driving at dusk? Shouldn't we be driving at dusk? You can take. You can take. Every year they kick a kick. Every year they kick a kick. We offer a loyalty program for our regular customers. We offer a loyalty program for our regular customers. What is he doing? What is he doing? The economic crisis led to high unemployment rates. The economic crisis led to high unemployment rates. As soon as possible. As soon as possible. Is your son a laundress? Is your son a laundress? Sincere. Sincere. Shouldn't we believe right away? Shouldn't we believe right away? We went canoeing on the lake and saw beautiful views. We went canoeing on the lake and saw beautiful views. Have you watched a good movie lately? Have you watched a good movie lately? Will it fail after one day? Will it fail after one day? Your niece was a nurse. Your niece was a nurse. Did he check? Did he check? When I can't get pregnant. When I can't get pregnant. Watch. Watch. You didn't answer at 5 o'clock the previous evening. You didn't answer at 5 o'clock the previous evening. I start the car and drive to the market. I start the car and drive to the market. What letter is this? What letter is this? They should not continue. They should not continue. Do not forget to fasten your seatbelt in the car. Do not forget to fasten your seatbelt in the car. She wears a dress to work every day. She wears a dress to work every day. I'm confused about what you're trying to say. I'm confused about what you're trying to say. Can we set up a meeting to discuss the progress of the project? Can we set up a meeting to discuss the progress of the project? Am I the referee every day? Am I the referee every day? His stepfather was a minister. His stepfather was a minister. Can we think 2 months ahead? Can we think 2 months ahead? You can hold my hand. You can hold my hand. I can attack later at 5 p.m. at midnight. I can attack later at 5 p.m. at midnight. She loves going to the beach. She loves going to the beach. Wouldn't they be professors by noon? Wouldn't they be professors by noon? I couldn't collect at noon. I couldn't collect at noon. Were your grandchildren businessmen? Were your grandchildren businessmen? Do we continue? Do we continue? They were not accepted annually. They were not accepted annually. They go to school by bus. They go to school by bus. Need to get up in the afternoon? Need to get up in the afternoon? We flew to Hawaii for our vacation. We flew to Hawaii for our vacation. Is his wife a cop? Is his wife a cop? The economic crisis led to high poverty rates. The economic crisis led to high poverty rates. You're going to visit your grandparents next weekend. You're going to visit your grandparents next weekend. We don't do tailoring. We don't do tailoring. Should not be discussed often. Should not be discussed often. You will be an innkeeper for 2 weeks. You will be an innkeeper for 2 weeks. They just finished their exams. They just finished their exams. His half-sister is an oncologist. His half-sister is an oncologist. I can't wait until dawn. I can't wait until dawn. Was your aunt the chef? Was your aunt the chef? Can't we add it after 4 months? Can't we add it after 4 months? They have 2 children. They have 2 children. Does not check later. Does not check later. They would not experience. They would not experience. He ate half the sandwich. He ate half the sandwich. Can he dive? Can he dive? How can you be late? How can you be late? Didn't he run often? Didn't he run often? Will he be a banker now? Will he be a banker now? Don't we believe? Don't we believe? Was his stepfather a rower? Was his stepfather a rower? He went to the beach during the day. He went to the beach during the day. Will they wear it after 5 years? Will they wear it after 5 years? Cannot expand from time to time. Cannot expand from time to time. Can you analyze a century ago? Can you analyze a century ago? Same kind of. Same kind of. Let me try to fix this for you. Let me try to fix this for you. The country's economy was heavily dependent on tourism. The country's economy was heavily dependent on tourism. Was your aunt the chef? Was your aunt the chef? Anxiety. Anxiety. Jim, I'm here for you to believe, you know that. I don't judge you. Jim, I'm here for you to believe, you know that. I don't judge you. I'm going to the theater. I'm going to the theater. If there is no chance of rain, I will go out. If there is no chance of rain, I will go out. Shouldn't he agree every week? Shouldn't he agree every week? Can handle 2 weeks. Can handle 2 weeks. Can a woman become a cop after 1 day? Can a woman become a cop after 1 day? And I didn't kick this rock. And I didn't kick this rock. I'm also working yesterday. I'm also working yesterday. The castle was built in the middle of the 13th century. The castle was built in the middle of the 13th century. Were my cousins CEOs? Were my cousins CEOs? Do you have to be a plumber after 5 days? Do you have to be a plumber after 5 days? They were practicing their dance routine for a competition. They were practicing their dance routine for a competition. Aware of the decision. Aware of the decision. Immature. Immature. If the weather is humid, I will not go out. If the weather is humid, I will not go out. The leaves of the trees were green and alive. The leaves of the trees were green and alive. Was her brother-in-law a playwright? Was her brother-in-law a playwright? Your colleague is the postman. Your colleague is the postman. Was his half-brother a travel agent? Was his half-brother a travel agent? Is your spouse a physicist? Is your spouse a physicist? Flexible. Flexible. Don't think right away. Don't think right away. She bought a new dress for the party. She bought a new dress for the party. His half-brother was an archaeologist. His half-brother was an archaeologist. What is your final destination? What is your final destination? My microwave is broken, I need to replace it. My microwave is broken, I need to replace it. I was definitely my girlfriend as a kid. I was definitely my girlfriend as a kid. Creates at dusk. Creates at dusk. I can't afford a new house. I can't afford a new house. Ironing in a month? Ironing in a month? Hadn't we attended? Hadn't we attended? Usually appreciated. Usually appreciated. I went to the hospital yesterday. I went to the hospital yesterday. After 3 years we are not scientists. After 3 years we are not scientists. I will take a photo. I will take a photo. My father is a soldier. My father is a soldier. He could always make beer. He could always make beer. Can you edit after 1 month? Can you edit after 1 month? I'm not sure I can trust you. I'm not sure I can trust you. I bought a new shirt at the mall. I bought a new shirt at the mall. We did not guide at night. We did not guide at night. Stepson pathologist. Stepson pathologist. I eat a lot of apples. I eat a lot of apples. Depends on the size of the problem. Depends on the size of the problem. I need to print some documents. Do you know where the nearest printer is? I need to print some documents. Do you know where the nearest printer is? I am thirsty. Can I have a glass of water, please? I am thirsty. Can I have a glass of water, please? They were able to accept the terms of the contract. They were able to accept the terms of the contract. 2 Breakfast is served from 7 a.m. 2 Breakfast is served from 7 a.m. How many bags do you have? How many bags do you have? We forget at noon. We forget at noon. However you like. However you like. They can coach after 4 seconds. They can coach after 4 seconds. Someone else will die in 13 minutes, unless I find him first. Someone else will die in 13 minutes, unless I find him first. Controversial. Controversial. He is taking. He is taking. Was your brother a baker? Was your brother a baker? After a century, he should be a urologist. After a century, he should be a urologist.